Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues. With this video, we'll be discussing episode 6 of the anime series, Snow White with the Red Hair. And, oh man, Prince Izana comes back, and he is just a malevolent bastard. He's smooth, he's suave, but you can see that he really gets off on messing with Zen, and holding, in this case, Zen accountable for the entire Laxdove affair, because he feels, no pun intended, he's been too lax on the soldiers there. These bandits came in, they gave him that firewood, knocked him out, and he's not, that is to say, Zen is not holding them accountable, and it's understandable. It was sort of a mistake that unfolded now in the hierarchy of a kingdom, a kingdom sort of overreaching all of these other sort of little conglomerate towns. I can see where Izana's coming from, but the impetus behind his doing so, to punish Zen for his lack of punishing them, holding them accountable, is just to get at Zen. It's just to, sink the teeth in. As we see in the opening of this episode, Kiki is kind of noticing that the guards have been placed differently and everything, and Izana has effectively been keeping in hiding his return from Zen, just to see if he's sort of worldly, to see if he's taking in his surroundings. We know Zen to be a very outward character. He very much appreciates the people, his subjects, or who would become his subjects if he were to ascend the throne. And what's quite interesting in that is he's so worldly, his horizons are so broad, his view of the world is so broad. He's not necessarily taking into consideration the sort of, politics of his position and within the kingdom itself, and the importance of all of those things, how they play on his responsibilities. So, I don't know, it's very intriguing that we have this dynamic, and you introduce Shirayuki into that, because of course, as Izana practically admits to her, suddenly he's curious about why is it Zen has this girl living in the kingdom. He's heard the story, he's probably prowled around getting the information from everybody in his, hiding out phase, not letting anyone know that he's back. He's apparently dodging, sharpened rocks at Obi in a tree, just to see what, I guess, his capabilities are, what his prowess is, whether or not he's a threat. And he's been questioning, because he then, of course, surmises Obi is actually somebody working alongside Zen, to a point. In any case, I think still on an observational level. We'll see if, how good he is and whether he can sort of be contained as somebody working alongside Zen and everything. Or maybe it's Zen's watchful eye over Obi to make sure that he doesn't get into trouble, one way or the other. But obviously, Izana is much more mindful of the kingdom itself and of keeping people in line, whether that be his subjects, whether that be his soldiers, or his own brother, whom he definitely seems to look down with a condescending eye on. And, it's intriguing to me just how dirty we see him go, because automatically he's talking, well, should we do this all in one fell swoop? I'm done toying. I've toyed with Zen a little bit. I've toyed with Shirayuki a little bit. Let's just have our cake now and eat it too. By bringing in, whom we haven't seen since episode 1, Prince Raj from back home, where Shirayuki hails from and all that. And I hate that guy so much. As soon as we saw him, I was like, no, come on. You went there, Izana, really? To bring this sleaze bag in under that guise of, it's kind of, they're using Shirayuki and Zen's relationship, but under the guise, the falsity of this, let's make a sort of amicable relationship between our two kingdoms, That's really why we're here. That's really why I've invited him, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It doesn't have anything to do with sinking my teeth that much deeper into Zen and everything. And there is some talk about, Izana doesn't mince words. He brings it right up. Oh, you were after this red-haired girl. Well, guess what? She's here. You know her name? And, basically Raj has to get permission from Zen because of Zen's warning to him, which we see in flashback. You don't say her name, you don't go near her, you don't, anything to do with her. You don't breathe the same air within like 50 feet of her. And he's all nervous, and the reactions at this like banquet, this party, are priceless, because Raj then, thinking the better of the situation, why he would not then, take Shirayuki back, because Izana says, well, maybe she wants to go back, kind of trying to force Raj's hand, perhaps. And Raj is like, well, no, I'm not going to have anything to do with it, because as I understand it, what I have heard, what I've been told through the grapevine, across kingdoms, is that Zen and Shirayuki, they're engaged, It's an official procession, and no messing with that, And of course, you just see everybody like, huh? They literally show everybody at the party, and close-ups, of course, on Zen, of Kiki and Mitsuhide. You have even Zen's brothers just kind of like, without actually doing it until they leave, he's face-palming in reaction to this, because this makes the situation no less precarious the way it was. You have Zen taking Raj off and being like, what the hell were you thinking? What is the matter with you? And then there is some discussion, because Raj, for all of his sleaze, he's not incompetent. He's not a moron. He sees what it is Izana's trying to do, whether they've had words before or not. And he's kind of off the cuff realizing, well, maybe that's what Izana wants. He wants me to find a reasoning to take Shirayuki back, to get her out of here, for one reason or another. And it kind of plays on that idea of, the scandal of a prince getting with a woman and there being no marriage or engagement between them. What is his reasoning for having her there? Gadok, in one of the previous episodes, when she was doing her whole testing to become the court herbalist apprentice, she even expressed that idea, that we don't want people to get the wrong idea as to why Shirayuki may or may not pass this test, that it's some influence of the prince. And so there is that scandalistic side of it where you could see Izana forcing Raj's hand. But of course, Zen is like, no. Completely, utterly, no, this ain't happening. You're not taking her, one way or the other. I don't have her here. I didn't take her and bring her here and am holding her here for some sense of my own pleasure out of it. He's not getting anything out of it. I mean, he is, but he's not doing it forcibly. He's not doing it like Raj would have done, or Izana seems to be trying to situate it so that, she go back with Raj and everything. It's because they are two human beings who mutually benefit each other from their character, from their conscience, from their compassion, their skills, their intelligence. It's two complementary people that work together. And there is no, sort of that sleaze that Raj represents, that Izana is trying to capitalize on or twist in that framework. And so, basically Zen comes back out, and he lets it be known that wasn't the case. We're not engaged. All that kind of stuff. And you can see there is tension between the two brothers, because effectively Izana's plan, at least this first stage of a probably ongoing plan to, be a thorn in their sides, failed. And we leave off with, Shirayuki herself playing over her mind. She's now kind of questioning her own resolve as far as the decisions she made. What led her to basically have this concept of, this is where I want to be. I want to learn my way and follow this path and be close to Zen. But then she, because of that question, well, what can I offer him in the future? Other maybe than being a wife, if she's even thinking that far ahead. It seems to me she's even uncertain about how she feels about Zen along those lines up until the last moment, where she plays over her mind his telling her, wherever you see fit to go, I hope I can be near you. I hope I can, witness it with my own eyes. You're following this path that you have set before you, that you've chosen to follow. And it seems as though she then recognizes what he meant. why he said what he did. And she goes running and chasing, breaking through, well, not breaking through, but going through the locked cage doors sort of in the wall where she last saw him. And she wanted to go talk to him in that moment, whether she wanted to just be close to him and feel his compassion and his warmth and his friendship, or perhaps she was going to profess her love for him. I don't know. But she definitely had in that moment the recognition that he is why I'm here. Maybe we'll figure it out in the future together. What we can, how we can be there for each other, what we can bring to each other. And quite frankly, when you have two characters so well fitted together like this, I mean, this is true love incarnate, that very sadly, we are given the belief can exist in this world, and I think to a degree it can. You can find somebody to be happy with in your life and spend your life with, but in the majority, a lot of people have a hard time finding that, and it's kind of this grandiose, beautiful thing for these two characters. You want them to end up together. You want them to complement each other in being together. And so the journey really seems to be that they're trying to find their way to each other, but they're going to have all these obstacles. Haruka, Izana, Raj, and probably obstacles we don't even know exist as of yet. As long as Big Brother is going to be there, he's going to be a taskmaster. He's going to find ways to manipulate them and keep them apart, probably. And it's intriguing and it's captivating that it's kind of like the Romeo and Juliet thing, but a sort of watered down Disney-fied Disney princess version of that, where these two people so want to be together and they're going to have so many people trying to keep them apart. And hopefully the outcome, I would be very happy with a happily ever after, because in this series, as comical as like the very cartoony reactions were and everything, for the most part, the story as it's unfolding is done in a very realistic, very, believable way, where Shirayuki is a strong female role model, Zen is a strong male role model. They well complement each other, and their interactions are cute and they're fun, but they aren't beyond the stretch of the imagination. It's not like they were both born to be together. They found each other. And that's what we do in life. We find each other. We find friends. We find, people we will consider even closer than our own family sometimes in life, whether that be a significant other, whether that be just people to be friends with, finding alternative brothers and sisters out there in the world. And I am definitely along for the journey to see these two coming together and fighting their way to find that place. And I hope they do in the end, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 6 of Akagami no Shirayuki-hime, or Snow White with the Red Hair. And if you enjoyed it, if not, why not? Let me know in the comments. Love having the conversation with you guys. Otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.